All right, so I think it's time to start evaluating the whole NCAA process. Now that we're at the end of the tournament and we've seen all these prospects come and go, and most of them are doing the one and done thing, going to college for 1 year and leaving. And as of past few seasons, a lot of players, former players of NCAA who are not in the NBA, are talking about how the NCAA is a scam and how you're not getting paid. Your name and your face is being promoted by these teams, but the players are not getting no compensation while they're in school. So I think it's time that players start evaluating why they should actually decide to take another route to the NBA as opposed to doing the traditional route of going to the NCAA, go straight to college. My idea is I think they should start going to the G League, and here's why. The G League is known as the minor league for the NBA, and a lot of players have had success from there. Players like Pascal Siakam, Chris Middleton, who was the first-time All-Star out of the G League, Seth Curry, Danny Green, Jeremy Lin, Joe Harris, Spencer Dinwiddie. All these players have gone through the rigors of the G League and have made a name for them, even though they have went to college and made to the NBA and then went to the G League. But I think it's time they start the prospects that's coming in, the next few prospects, next few years. They should start evaluating: is it really worth me? Is it really worth me going to the NCAA, risking my career, and going for school? And a lot of these players are not even going to go to school. They just look for a path to get to the NBA. A lot of these players have families they need to provide for, are struggling, try to make some money, or just going to the NBA because they love playing basketball. It's what they want to do. It's what they did their whole life. So these players could explore going to the G League. The G League, they get money, they get contracts. According to the G League website, these players are getting about, let's see here, 125,000 in the 5-month season. It's pretty good. You gotta be at least 18 years old to get into the league. That means you can go straight out of high school, and as opposed to going to college doing the one and done deal, and then you go to the NBA, you have to be 19. Most of the time, what some players are electing to do is to not go to college, probably go overseas, play the year out until you're 19, because you have to be 1 year removed from your graduation class of high school, or you have to be 19 years old. You go to G League at 18 years old, you're getting money right off the back, and you're getting the NBA experience. You're getting NBA coaches, you're getting players who've actually been in the NBA who can give you experience, who give you some tips of how to get there and how to stick there. And you're getting NBA scouts looking at you. You're playing for a minor league team that's affiliated with an NBA team. So you're going to have players who's moved down from the NBA to the G League, and coaches who's been there, scouts. You have the workout programs. You have all the stuff, all the tools you need to make it to the NBA, as opposed to going the traditional route of going to the NCAA and struggling for 1 year, then trying to fight your way. Not really fight your way, but it's probably more guaranteed for the top prospects to go through the college process, and then make a name for yourself throughout March Madness and everything, gets the tournament. But for the other players who it's not guaranteed for, you might not make it through the draft. You might not get drafted. So most of these players who don't get drafted, they may end up going overseas or going to the G League. So why not start a trend by actually going to the G League and getting the experience you need to actually play in the NBA, getting coaching from players who've been there and coaches who've been there, and working your way up to a call up. We had a lot of good players come out to G League. Chris Middleton became an All-Star this year. He was the first player from the G League to make an All-Star team in the NBA. Chris Middleton is a very good player. Pascal Siakam, a lot of people saying he should be an All-Star this year. He also might win Most Improved Player. So it's a lot. Jeremy Lin has a lot of hype around him. Steph Curry, the brother of Steph Curry, he's went to the G League. Spencer Dinwiddie, all these players who's been through the G League. Clint Capella, a lot of these players are Hassan Whiteside. They are going to get into the NBA through a different route now, and we should start looking at a G League trend. And I think the NBA should really start looking to invest more into the G League. Right now, the number of players in the NBA that's from the G League is 198. It's a lot of players. At the tip-off of this season, that's 40% of the NBA. 198 players out of 494 players. Quentin Cook has been there. He's a champion now. A lot of these players are really doing good for themselves, and a lot of these kids want to find a path to the NBA and don't want to go through the college process, taking the SATs, take college classes, electives, required classes, gotta maintain their grades at a certain level just to stay on the team, just to play basketball, just so they get the opportunity to get to the NBA. Think about it like this: you're doing all this, and you're not guaranteed to go to the NBA. So you're doing this whole process of going to school, which you might not enjoy, and it's a possibility you don't make it to the NBA. Is it worth it? Go straight to the G League, you could actually have a better chance, an opportunity, a better route to get there and work your way up into the NBA. So I think it's something we really need to explore. I hope the NBA decides to actually really pursue that, especially since this whole Zion rule. I think the NBA is starting to reevaluate if they should do players coming straight out of high school now. After the whole Zion getting injured during the game, foot come out his sneaker. I feel like they could keep the one and done rule, but I feel like they can enforce the G League rule more of having players come straight from the high school to the G League, and you're getting paid as well. So hopefully the NBA does something to make it more a better opportunity to get to the NBA through the G League as opposed to the traditional route.